Hey guys, so the title is not a lie. This is kind of hard to talk about in a lot of ways, mostly because I don't know the general consensus out there about how people believe or what they perceive or their perspective. So I need you guys to just keep an open mind here, okay? I also have lots of notes because I don't want to forget a few things. So without further ado, Jerry never left. I know he died. I know we had a funeral for him. I know we all said our goodbyes and we say our prayers, and I continue to say prayers for him every day. But I'm telling you right now, he never left. So what do I mean? You know, every time I do something like that, it reminds me of him. He would say stuff like that in his videos. Well, frankly, it started right away. When I went to Pittsburgh, I woke up the next morning. I actually fell asleep. I think I was just so exhausted and I just needed to just collapse. I woke up the next morning and this has been happening since. There was a song blaring in my head, and it was Breathe by Faith Hill. And the chorus is just breathe. And it was really loud. And I thought, well, I mean, appropriate, but when's the last time I heard that song? I didn't really think anything of it. And I thought, wow, I really am fucked up in the head. Like, I clearly am having trouble. But it literally started from that next morning. I picked up his things at the corner, and he had no alarm set on his cell phone. I got his cell phone, his car keys, you know, all his personal effects. And his cell phone alarm went off. And when I went to see what was going on, obviously, you guys, I was not right in the head. Like, I was in the backseat of my two very sweet friends' car, and I'm like fumbling trying to figure out his phone. There's no alarm set. Why did an alarm go off? And also, I never needed to turn it off. It just started to alarm. And I thought, okay, that's weird, but okay. And it continued on. And the following day, the song blaring in my head when I woke up was the song by Warrant called Heaven. It's Heaven Isn't Too Far Away. And it never stopped. It played so loud, and I thought, that's it. I've lost my mind, right? Like, this doesn't make sense. I have songs blaring in my head. I have his cell phone alarm going off. My phone obviously is already blowing up. So I'm just overwhelmed by sound, basically. But when the time passed, it's still the same. My last video I made, if you go back to around a minute 20, a minute 30 seconds, the laundry door shuts itself. And that happens all the time. And you can say, oh, well, you know, the difference in pressure, maybe something else in the building changed it, whatever. I'm trying to tell you that if you see the laundry list of things that have happened since he passed, you would have no doubt it's absolutely Jerry. And the fun thing about since he passed, one, he's made things really fun. He's also been very sweet, and also he's been a bodyguard. So just a word of caution, I have a permanent spiritual bodyguard. So if you want to mess with me, good luck, because I don't know what he's able to do from the other side, but I wouldn't play. That man's a passionate man. I would not play. But you know, it started, I was on the Peloton bike. I don't talk a lot about my Peloton. I enjoy it. I think it's fun. And I was on the bike, and I was on the bike. When I say I was on the bike, like, guys, I was trying to just pedal, okay? And I was bawling my eyes out, and I heard, she's a beast. And I almost fell off the bike because I'm like, she's a beast. And it was I know his voice anywhere. I would know it in my sleep. I know his voice. And I cried more, and I was like, yeah, I'm a real beast right now. Sure. I got a good friend of mine, who's a good friend of mine now, a friend of his, reached out and was very nervous to tell me. She's like, Erin, I'm so sorry. This is so awkward. He will not stop screaming at me. I have to tell you something. And I said, what? What is it? And she said, he keeps saying coffee cups. Tell her coffee cups. Tell her coffee cups. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. When we started to date, we went to a coffee shop back when we used to drink coffee. And we had our little paper cups. And as we were talking, he leaned over with his coffee cup and he like kissed my coffee cup. he did a little bonk, and I said, did you just kiss my coffee cup? And he goes, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. Oh my God, I can't believe I just did that. But that was always our example. If he said, you know, something was nice or sweet, I said, are we talking like kissing coffee cup sweet? But that was his message, and it was so like 100% received. Kissing coffee cups. He was trying to tell me it was okay. I have seen him repeatedly in my dreams, repeatedly. He started within like a week or two. I had a crazy dream, but the gist of it is I went into this, you know how dreams are. I went into this odd space in a house, and I said, babe? And he said, he goes, can you hear me? And I said, can you hear me? And I had to hold my breath, and I could barely hear it. He goes, yes. And I said, are you okay? He said, yes. And I was like, oh, thank God you're okay. And I have seen him, he was driving me around in a truck this past week, and he goes, you fell asleep. I said, I wasn't asleep. And he goes, and he just laughed. He's like, okay. He's like, you were asleep. I was like, I was not asleep. So I woke up, and the first thing I said, I didn't have my eyes open, and I said, I'm so sorry. I didn't know I was asleep. And he has just been at my side the whole time. There was, when I started to go back to work after he died, I was walking Brady at 4:30 in the morning, very dark, very quiet, especially when, you know, I'm not really used to walking him in the dark by myself like that. But I was walking him, and we ran around the corner, and we live in a condominium, and there are different buildings, and there are, there's like a main light in front of the building where the main door is, and then each garage has its own like little light bulb for its driveways. And I noticed when we ran around the corner, the one building in front of me, the light bulb was flickering, and I thought, okay, end of life light bulb, need another light bulb. I was like, okay, it's fine. So we kept walking, we ran around the corner, and there was a floodlight on. And I don't remember ever knowing that floodlight, and I didn't see anyone or hear anyone. I didn't know why it was on. And I thought, well, that's kind of strange. We were kind of done, we were just gonna go back. And as we started to head back, I noticed that the building's light bulb was flashing, but so was the one in the driveway, and they were both just like flashing crazy. I thought, well, that's weird. And I heard him say, get in the house now, go inside now. And he was like screaming it. And then I thought, that's great. I have now officially lost my mind. I am like schizophrenic and hearing voices. And I was like, okay. And he goes, get in now. So I grabbed Brady and we ran inside. And I cannot tell you what was there because I ran inside. Listen, at some point you just do what you're told. Like, I will gladly run inside in order to get away from whatever it was that was outside. And I had another friend tell me, listen, he wants me to tell you something. And I was like, okay. And she said, he said, thank you for responding to me when I talk to you, so I know you can actually hear me. And I hadn't said a word to her. I said nothing at all. She had no idea that I was responding to her and acting like a lunatic and speaking to him, because I always just kept talking to him about how I felt. And when I would hear him, I always responded to him, even if it was silly. And I went to take Brady out. A lot happened at the beginning, and I flipped the light for the foyer that is on right now, and it didn't turn on. And I'm like, what? So I turned it down and back on, and nothing. And there's another switch that does the same thing. And I thought, oh my God, what is wrong with my electrical wiring? And I flipped the other one and it worked. And I went, babe? I was like, okay, I don't really know, but okay. So I took Brady out, and like a couple days later it happened again. And I said, okay, listen, wait. I said, I'm assuming this is you, and it's very funny and you're adorable. I was like, but now I'm scared that like the electrical system is messed up and like the house is gonna be on fire and I'm gonna go to work and Brady's gonna die. And it never happened again. He never played with the lights again. I was home one night, and my neighbor, who was about 18 at the time, Max, he had been walking dogs with me. It was getting dark, and I appreciate him walking with me with his dog. And he loved Jerry. He and Jerry talked about fitness all the time, and went inside, and I got a text that said, Miss Erin, which tells you the age difference. Now I'm 110 years old. He said, Miss Erin, I'm so sorry to bother you. I have to tell you something really weird, and I need you to not judge me. I'm like, it's fine, just tell me. He said, I was walking by your garage and your light bulb started to flicker. He said, and I was like, oh, okay, light bulb flickering, cool. He said, but that's not the thing. He was like, he was so scared, you guys. And he goes, no, but he's like, Miss Erin, I saw a shadow go across your garage in the flashing light bulb, and then the light bulb stopped flashing for a minute. He said, and then it went and started to glow just a little bit, and then glowed all the way on and stayed on. And I said, he was really protective about that light, because if that thing ever burned out, which it's a light bulb, it burns out. He was scared that when I would get in my car in the morning that like someone could hide there, I wouldn't see them, and I would be, vulnerable. And he was always very protective of me, very, very, very protective. So I wasn't surprised at all that he fixed the light bulb. So, the stories go on, but a couple weeks ago, I was sitting on the couch, and anyone who has gone through a lot of grief knows that sometimes it hits you in waves, okay? It's just, you don't know why it'll hit you, but it will. And I was sitting on the couch. It was after dinner, before bed, like that kind of time. And I was just crying. Like, I was just like full, crying. And I was not thinking in words. I was just feeling and crying, okay? And I heard, I'd cry too if I ate that for dinner. And he laughed, and I stopped, and I went, fuck you. I laughed a little and went back to crying. I had gotten really hungry for, of all things, a grilled cheese, and I tried to make like a healthy version of a grilled cheese. It was so, but I just wanted to like scratch that itch of a grilled cheese. And of course he said that, and I'm like, of course, like critiquing, right? But there were just so many times, and I'm looking at my notes to make sure I didn't forget anything, but I can tell you this, and I'll leave everything on this note, but bear with me. When I was around, 18, 19, my grandmother passed away. And I started to have dreams shortly thereafter where I had a dream where I was in this place, and it was so beautiful. And it had like lush green lawn, and had all of these picnic tables. I've nicknamed it the picnic tables my whole life. And I would see her at the picnic tables, and what she was doing, she was just talking to everybody and sitting at the picnic tables. And yes, I had some formal dreams with her where she talked to me and she checked on me and everything, but I would usually see her at the picnic tables, and she was always happy. And the picnic tables is packed. And there are so many people there. They're all happy. It's always beautiful. It's always sunny. It's not hot. It's not cold. Like, it's just perfect. And I didn't really think about it a lot. And then Jerry died. And I found myself in another dream. And I was at the picnic tables. And I saw him. And he pulled me to the side. And I said, are you having so much fun? Are you with Christopher? Are you with your family? Are you having a good time? He said, yeah, but that's the thing. And I understood, I know Jerry enough to know that he was saying, but that's the thing, you're not here. And I'm like, I'm just so glad that you're happy. Well, I've been back to the picnic tables multiple times, but there's a place where there are all of these doors, and every time you open a door, it's anything, right? Like, you could open one door and it's like Madison Square Garden. You open another door and they had like a whole like baseball game, like a full real baseball game outside, but you open a door to get there. And like, everybody is happy and everybody's doing whatever they want to do. It's literally whatever you want. And the last time I was there, I opened one of the doors and this is terrible, I forgot one of my long-term like mentors had died suddenly. She had horrible aggressive cancer and died suddenly. And when I opened the door, she was right there. And she had just taught a class. And I was like, and I panicked. This is so embarrassing. I panicked and I ran away. And I was like, oh my God, because I just forgot she died. I know that sounds crazy, but I forgot. And I turned around and I heard, Erin, what are you doing here? Oh, you must be looking for Jerry. Hey, come here, I'll show you where he is. And I was like, okay. I walked down, opened another door, huge indoor like arena, like think Olympia, right? And of course, I just barely glanced at the stage. Do you know it was a bodybuilding show? Of course it was. And I saw him and I went, Jerry! And of course, unfortunately, it was one of those moments where the whole room goes quiet and I'm screaming. So everybody was like, oh. And he saw me and he went, oh. And he came down out of the bleachers and I was like, hey. And he laid down, he goes, man, I'm so tired. I'm like, why are you tired? And I woke up, pulled myself out. So I can tell you that the picnic tables is a beautiful place. It is not heaven, but it is not heaven. Everyone is at peace. Everyone is happy. Everyone can do anything they want to do. You want to take a class, you want to play baseball, you want to see a show, whatever you want, you can do it. But it's not heaven, but he's fine. And I see him there all the time. And he continues to visit me. He has visited some of his friends that have gotten into some medical trouble. He had a friend of his who ended up in the hospital, and as soon as he fell asleep, he saw him. He is truly everywhere. And even the dog, we had his best friend and his wife over, and he hit Dad and he went straight to the sliding glass door and looked, and that's normally where Jerry was. So he is always around, and anyone who's been here says, it's really weird, I can still feel him. And I was like, he's always here. He pops in and out, but he's always here. So I guess I'm telling you guys this because, one, I guess it's sort of like a spiritual coming out process. I always told him, I said, if you ever die and you don't come visit me or talk to me or see me, I said, I swear to God, I'll pull you back alive. I'll kill you and send you back just to, you know, and we would like make all these jokes. And really impressed by how fast he learned how to communicate with me. And he does it really well all the time. I tell you, he's bossy even from the other side. You got to give him mad props for that. So a little bit of a spiritual coming out, but I also want you to know that I know he's okay. When people go, you know, I hope he's doing well, I'm like, no, I tell you right now, he's fine. He's truly fine. Also, I am the best, most like well-guarded soul on this planet. There is absolutely no one, I think, that could approach me without him intervening in some way. Whatever, he would probably surprise me. But I certainly feel safe with him around because I know he's around. And even though I felt like I sounded delusional for months because I'm going, I don't know if anybody's going to believe me. I can tell you that there are just some truths you cannot deny, and this is one of them. And I am grateful for his presence and his communication. So he is quite well, and he looks good. He's happy. He's so gentle. And I can tell you that if you need him and you reach out to him, you might be surprised. You may see him in a dream, or he may try to communicate with you if you're into that. So if for some reason you need him, just a thought. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys soon. Keep making it work.